On this edition of Hello Central New York, we'll take a look at last Friday's Utica Zombie Walk. We'll also visit Star Trek Phase 2, which is produced right here in Central New York. But first, we're going to the Stanley Theater to look at Young Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, cablegram for Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein. My name is pronounced Frankenstein.
If you say so.
The story of Frankenstein is one that has been told and retold many times. The monster was the original creation of Mary Shelley, the novelist who brought Frankenstein to life in 1818. Now, Frankenstein is in Utica. The musical Young Frankenstein is kicking off its national tour at the Stanley Theater. And John Fellner of the Broadway Theater League of Utica says the company couldn't have chosen a better place to start.
It's a venue that's perfectly set up for this show. It's in a location that is perfect for the show. They can go in any direction easily and quickly. Everything about having a show here is perfect.
Fellner says it's a huge production, and the Stanley has added extra dressing rooms and backstage space, making it so a production of this size can now take place here. Young Frankenstein the musical is based off of the Mel Brooks film, and for those who love the movie, executive producer Carrie Walker says the musical will not disappoint.
Your favorite moments from the film are all on stage.
The show itself is a funny show. It's typical Mel Brooks, and it's a million laughs.
The production is particularly special because it is the first tech show that Utica has seen.
No one has ever brought a show here to set it up, to rehearse it, to put it together here. The show was on the road last year, but it's sort of a retech.
This venue is perfectly sized and perfectly designed for a tech show because it has everything that a show needs. Any show on the road can come onto this stage and put everything that they have into it. They don't have to downsize anything. They can do everything they possibly can to make it work.
On TV, like advertisement, it looked very funny, so she called me and asked me to go out.
Own the DVD, own the VHS, watched it probably about 100 times.
We love Young Frankenstein, it's hysterical.
I'd like to welcome all of you to the first show of the 54th season of touring shows here in Utica with Broadway Theater League. For those of you who don't know, we've been reteching this show called Young Frankenstein, and it's been amazing to watch a show come together from day one, which was last Monday. This is the first stop in, I believe, a 104-city tour. It was prepared and ready for the road right here in Utica, folks, and we're proud of it. I like the movie. In my estimation, there is nothing better than live Broadway. It's just something, when you see it, it's a one-time thing, and it's different for everyone who sees it. And I certainly love theater. We're just delighted to be the people who are putting this 104-city tour on the beginning of the map, and we're just going to remember as they successfully go throughout the country how much fun it was to have them start right here in Utica.
I'm Tony Falvo, and this is Ben Farda, and we are part of Star Trek Phase 2, which is shot here in upstate New York, and we make a fan-based Star Trek that rivals the quality that Desilu and Paramount put out years ago, and you can watch for yourself.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
I've been doing this, my first full shoot was Katoomba back in, I think it was June of '09 we did that. And I've worked on approximately 4 episodes. That was the first full episode we did that I worked on, but I've done work on The Child, I've done work on Enemy Starfleet, we've done Minesifter Origins, so I've got about 5 or 6 episodes that I've worked on to this point. Mostly what I do on crew is grip work, electric, we do lighting, repair anything that needs to be repaired basically. Lights go down, equipment goes down. I maintain a lot of the electrical there. Tony does a lot of the same too.
Coordinates locked in, sir. Port Hannah, New York. Energizer.
And here's some CG roll coming in. I cut together a little intro. This is actually from Origins.
Approaching the planet Earth.
And then he did the effects here of all of us beaming in to the transporter room.
This is from The Child. This is the alien entity that is, I'll say, annoying the Enterprise at this point. This is a beautiful flyover shot. It shows you what's inside the energy.
Right to a reveal of the Enterprise.
Right to a beautiful reveal of the lovely Lady Enterprise. The Child is an episode that was done by John Falvo. It was actually a Next Generation episode. And John never quite liked the way Next Generation did it. And he got a hold of us and said he wanted to reshoot it the way he originally wrote it as a Phase 2 episode for the series in the 70s that never aired. And we did just that. And we shot it exactly as he wanted it, with every little nuance. This is from Enemy Starfleet. This is the time buoy that goes out that traps Barbara Luna in time.
This is a great VFX shot that Tobias Richter did. Just to comment on what he was saying about The Child with John Falvo shooting the way he did. That's one of the caveats almost of Phase 2 is that we can do things like that. David Gerald with Blood and Fire was an episode that actually they wouldn't produce because of the controversy of it. And he came in and under Phase 2 shot it just as he intended to have it shown.
This is some VFX from Katoomba. And this is approaching the Klingon homeworld of Kronos, and many, many ships. This is awesome VFX work.
Yeah, this is Klingon Home Guard.
Work that he put into this is just unbelievable. VFX is the CGI work that is done with computers and the effects that you can't shoot with a camera that you can create magically.
Or visual effects. Like this is actually Fort Ticonderoga. That is a complete set extension behind that brick wall of them. The entire Klingon city was dropped into there.
It doesn't actually exist.
It doesn't actually exist in the real world. None of that does.
It's like Fort Stanwix here in Rome. It's Fort Ticonderoga is where the Revolutionary War was won. It was the headquarters. Fort Ticonderoga was in charge of Fort Stanwix and giving them orders with General Burgoyne and Benedict Arnold. There's a familiar name for you. We actually shot some stuff there that actually recreated a scene from the Revolutionary War to a T.
A lot of this is Enemy Starfleet, which has been released. You'll see the swipes are actually before and after where we actually shot, and then the effect afterward.
This was shot at a rock quarry.
Right, and this was shot in Ticonderoga at the rock quarry. And the effects there, a lot of those explosions are real with the scene where they're running down the hill. And I think 1 or 2 was actually added in after, and it's actually very difficult to determine which are which. This is
what we call beauty shots.
Right, of the Enterprise. This is after it has done battle. They're doing repair to it. And again, this is...
See the guy welding?
Extreme detail by, again, Tobias Richter. You can see, actually, I mean, there's people walking. If you look in the windows as it pans through, you can actually see the people walking around inside the ship.
This is really cool. This is a time lapse of a single shot, and it's about a 5-hour time period. It shows us working, setting up lights, flags, and getting the scene ready for shooting. There's the scene being shot with the boom mic. You see him holding it.
This is actually, I think this is an Admiral scene from Mine Sifter, if I'm correct, right?
Matt Busey shows you a little bit about how an HD camera works and how to look at it on a scope. And
these are these steps here?
Everything's
so
adjusted properly.
That black and that black
is good. He's got what they call a rat box.
So that one's slightly better. This one's slightly better.
I actually was shooting some of this behind the scenes during certain downtime where he's doing a calibration or Sets is doing something. I take my camera and I go around and I see what people are doing and I talk to them about it. And we got to talking about him setting up his camera and doing some color balance. It's the same thing with the time lapse. If I'm busy working, like that scene, that time lapse, I'm actually in there quite a bit doing lighting. I'll just take my camera, I'll throw it up on a tripod somewhere out of the way and I'll let it run. And then I'll go back later and I'll condense it down.
Yeah, we have an average of 15 to 20 people on the grip and electric team, and their job is to go in and set up all of the high power lights, get them pointed the way the director wants them, and also the way the camera needs to see them for light levels.
Right, gel them, color them.
Color them, gel them.
It's just another box. Not much different.
This just goes on to Clarence here. He's working on what we have is
this is our
it's basically the
Star
buzzer
Trek
box.
filming unit. Yeah. When you're in Hollywood and they're shooting a movie, you will hear a bell and everyone says quiet on the set and they start rolling.
Right.
And when they're done rolling, you will hear 2 bells that they're done. And that's basically our unit that does that. We've hooked it up to a bell. We've also hooked it up with car starter remote controls, so the director can carry it on the set and push the button and it will go off.
Now this is kind of the heart of the set right here. This is VFX artist Pony Horton. He does a lot of the after effects into the shots, things like phaser blasts, set extension, add-ons, and he's walking you through the bridge right now, showing you this is Spock Station, science. He was just showing you communications. You could tell him the George Takei convention.
Yeah, I went, well, me and my wife, because she likes me that I say that. Me and my wife went down to the convention in New Jersey, and we met George Takei. And they had this dinner thing where you could meet the stars, and they would come around to your table while you're eating and actually sit with you and talk with you. And I started talking to George about World Enough in Time, because it had just being ready to be released. And I had seen it, and it was just awesome. And I told him, you did a great job. And he said, well, you should go up there and help them. You live in New York. They shoot in New York. I said, in New York? Really? And he says, where? He said, well, it's a little town in upstate New York called Port Henry. And I looked at it on the map, and it's not really that far from Utica. So I said, okay, well, let's go check it out. And that day was history, because since then I've been part of the production. This is from Katoomba, and it's a Klingon scout ship. Katoomba is the episode that we filmed at Fort Ticonderoga. The Katoomba is a Klingon leader who is a child. And basically there are factions fighting for control and trying to take his power away. And the Enterprise is called in to help protect them.
Sponsor.
50,000. He will signal. It is his duty.
30,000.
Photon torpedoes, wide as possible spread.
At this range, the blast will impact us as well.
Fire. Sal, take damage control reports. Resume course.
Aye, sir. He died with honor. His name will be remembered by his house.
I've never been a Klingon I'd consider honorable.
You have not met all Klingons, Doctor. Many of our great houses use the concept of honor as their guide.
The great houses, the families which comprise the ruling class of warriors.
Beneath us are the technos, the scientists who keep our empire progressing, and the servos, who provide the services necessary for our daily lives. One day, our subjects may be lucky enough to join them.
It doesn't matter what fancy excuse you give it. You didn't flinch at that man's death.
A small price to pay for peace, Doctor.
It wasn't small to him.
Yeah, this is where they're running tactics to
The first rule of security
get into the
work is
Klingon
never
homeworld.
assume anything. The smallest detail could mean life.
And there's a little bit of comedy in this.
I thought the first rule was chocolate calms Chekhov.
That's more of an operating guideline, Ensign.
I can assume Russian is your native language because you speak with an accent.
Or that I know women find accents irresistible. If we don't solve the sequencing problem.
Bones.
I won't have it. This is my sick bay, and I won't
this
have
is a
this
scene
baby
from the
born
child.
with
This
a
is
phaser pointed at it.
kind of that classic Kirk-McCoy banter where they'll go at it.
And it compromises the best care I can provide to my patients.
Just any Trek fan would recognize, you know, when McCoy goes at it with Kirk or Spock, for that matter. This just happens to be McCoy and Kirk.
This is back to Katoomba. This is at Fort Ticonderoga in the courtyard.
From a Klingon warrior who
this
fell
is
in
the
battle.
Katoomba that well, that's James Cawley that you're looking at right there. The man behind everything. James Cawley is the man who put this thing together. Started just like all of us did, playing in his basement and playing Star Trek. And when he grew up, he had didn't know what to do with his money, I guess, so he built the bridge of the Enterprise, and we're all still playing Star Trek in his backyard.
There's kind of a saying that Elvis saved Star Trek with him.
Yeah, he's an Elvis impersonator.
Probably one of the very best.
And one of the best I've ever heard.
Yeah.
People can find us at StarTrekNewVoyages.com or at StarTrekPhase2.com. You can go to the website. You can get links to the episodes. You can join our forum and talk with us.
As soon as the clock struck 7 tonight, one part of Utica was filled with zombies stumbling down the street.
It is crazy. It's awesome seeing everybody come out dressed up in different zombie costumes. The ideas people come up with, I've seen some really cool stuff.
The third annual Zombie Walk took place Friday evening at Uptown Theater on Genesee Street. All the walkers there made sure to get into character.
We definitely look like the most gruesome. We overdid it on fake blood and everything.
Michelle Pugh, a second-time walker, came out with her family for the evening and enjoyed every bit of the atmosphere.
We love zombies anyway. They're a lot of fun. It's a great genre. And it's really for a good cause. It's surreal. I love all the great zombie costumes and all the survivors walking around. It's just interesting to see these people in such a normal setting.
The charity event attracted those around the area of all ages, and some returning zombie walkers decided to change up their costume for this year.
I usually go as a zombie, but today, you know what? I decided I don't feel like getting my face all done up just to get it all sweated off, so I decided to go as a zombie hunter from the Zomb Squad.
And Michael Daniels made sure to fulfill his duty as a zombie hunter for the night.
If any zombies get out of line, I'm just gonna go whack.
Director of the Zombie Walk, Kyle Riker, says the event is a great way to get the community together to raise money and have fun at the same time.
It's like being in a movie, you know? It's just a horde of zombies coming at you, and you're just like, what the heck is going on? It's all good fun, you know? No one ever, we haven't had any incidences, and it's just been a great time the first 2 years.